I'll just say welcome. My name is Melinda Glasgow. I'm the Sustainability Officer for the City of Little Rock. And thank you so much for all being here today. Taking time out of your day is a big deal, and we know that, and we appreciate it, which means we know we have some like-minded folks here, and hopefully maybe some folks that don't know what all we're trying to do and strive for. Who all is new this year, who's never been to a summit before? Awesome. So maybe about half. That's really cool. This is our 9th annual Sustainability Summit. It is born out of the Mayor's Sustainability Commission. And Faith Mullins and I just staff the commission. Where's Faith? I don't know where Faith is. We are the Sustainability Office of 2. So we have, right? So thanks. So anyway, I would also like for you guys to look at your program. Oh, where's my program? And turn it over. What happened over there, Ronnie? What are you doing? Curtain, okay. So on the back are the sponsors, and we thank each and every one of you, because without your sponsorship, we would not be able to put this cool event on every year. So thank you very, very much to all of our sponsors. So those of you, the 50% of you who have been here before, know that the mayor is very busy before he gets here in the mornings. And he is going around the city trying to highlight some of the things we're going to be talking about today. On our 2020 roadmap, we have, which is also maybe known as a ShamWow, it's printed on your ShamWow. There are 17 goals that we are committed to, the City of Little Rock and the Mayor's Sustainability Commission are committed to by the year 2020. And we highlight 3 of those each year. And this year, you'll see on the panel that our City Manager, Bruce Moore, will be moderating up here in a little bit. But so the mayor's been out and about this morning, and we're gonna play a video and see what he's been up to. So, Lee Wood.
Well, JJ, we're out here at the 4-H Center amongst the trees. I understand you might have a challenge for me, is that right?
Yes, we do. We've got a zip line here set up for you.
You sure I'm not going to fall?
Yeah, we've never lost anybody yet. How's that? So.
Well, the last time I did this was for my Air Force summer camp.
Okay.
And I was on a zip line like this and had to drop into the water and shed myself of all the equipment and then try and climb into a dinghy, you know, a lifeboat. It was pretty tough. So this hopefully is not going to be quite as challenging as that was. And I take it this is important.
So we'll use those.
That's pretty tall. How tall was that?
It's about 25 feet up there.
25 feet up, and I bet you when you look down on it, it
feels about 50 feet up.
50 feet?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I don't know.
You got this.
You think?
Yeah.
Think I can handle this? I don't know.
So.
All right. Well, you know, we're out here on this conference to talk about the importance of trees to our environment, what they do for the landscape, not only in terms of harsh urban landscapes, but obviously the beauty of what we're seeing here today at the 4-H Club.
Definitely.
Habitats for birds and animals. Probably one of the most important things is that, you know, one of these mature trees can convert carbon dioxide enough for oxygen for 2 people.
It's amazing.
So that's why it's so very important that we really work on our tree canopies, and particularly in the urban environment, that we're planting trees and replanting trees. You know, we're a little early in the spring, or about to have spring, and these things will be blossomed out, and I assume it radically changes the look of this zip line.
Yeah, it'll.
Now that even looks taller than.
Yeah, when you're right up next to it.
I want to stretch my neck.
Want to get up there, get settled? I'll call you up there. We'll get you hooked in.
Oh, okay. Well, but before we do that, I think I better check out our urban tree farm first. You know, I mean that's where we plant seedlings to plant in over 60 of our parks and in the rights of way of our streets. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna digest this a little bit while I go look at our tree farm.
All right. Okay.
Here we are out at the city's urban forestry tree farm. And I'm with Robbie Hudson, our urban
How you
forester.
doing, Mayor?
Robbie, it's good to see you out
You
here.
too.
Beautiful day, isn't it?
It is.
Why don't you tell me what we've got out here? I bet you nobody knows that we've got 150 acres that the city owns where we actually grow our own trees to put in our parks and in our rights of way. Tell us more about it.
Exactly. Yeah, this is kind of a hidden gem down here, the way I think about it. We've got about 300 trees planted right now in the in-ground, and soon to be probably another 1,000 trees that will be in containers. And
1,000 trees?
Yeah, we
My
use the container trees to give out to some of the neighborhood associations and like Tree Streets organization for planting on our rights of ways. And the more of the bigger trees, we'll take these out and plant them in our city parks.
What kind of trees do we have out here?
All these trees are more the native trees to Little Rock. Have the pine, sycamore, maple, sawtooth oak, and white oak and red oak. Mayor, you want to drive or ride?
Yeah, sure, I'd be happy to drive.
Safety first.
Oh, all right. How many people work out here?
I have a 7-man crew.
Do you really?
Yes, sir.
And then I assume they're out all the time in the parks and rights of way. I know you've helped me get some trees planted.
In the big half-circle building, we have a sawmill in there.
A sawmill?
We do.
Really?
And so what we try to do is utilize every single inch of a tree that we have to remove as possible. So we can cut lumber out of the tree, and local cabinet makers come to us and give us a donation for local lumber, and then we put the money back into our tree planting fund as well.
Our urban forestry tree farm out here, how many acres do we have?
The tree farm itself is roughly 5 to 10 acres, but we own 150 acres here for future growth.
So Robbie, tell me, obviously, tree maintenance is important, and particularly in our parks and the rights of way, we have trees that die and trees that get damaged. Tell me what you do about all that kind of stuff.
Well, anytime that we have trees that are removed inside our parks or on city streets, we always like to come back and plant 2 trees for every 1 tree that we lose.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Tree Streets is helping us out on the city rights of way doing that.
Tree Streets is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to benefit the public by planting trees in Little Rock's urban neighborhoods and by educating about how trees benefit our cities. They plant trees to benefit the public by planting trees along streets within the urban neighborhoods of the city of Little Rock.
It's real important to break up the hardscape is what I call. Get the greenery out, have some kind of buffer for the sound and pollution.
Yeah.
It just, it makes everything, so much more beautiful.
Robbie, thanks so much for what you're doing. It's great for our city and for our community. The beauty and the naturalness of what we're doing in terms of these parks. It's really a quality of life issue that our citizens should be very proud of.
Thank you. I'm just trying to do our part as making the city in a park.
It is.
It is.
Little Rock is a city in the park. Thank you. This is our 7th year to recognize those making significant contributions to a more sustainable Little Rock. From all sizes of businesses to nonprofits to individuals, with the common goal of lowering their environmental impact. The Sustain the Rock Award winners are from all over the city, and we will be adding 5 more today. Everyone is upgrading their energy systems at home. They're replacing light bulbs with LEDs, finding more energy efficient appliances and HVAC systems. And rest assured, we're doing it here at the city too. We want to make sure that these items that you see here don't end up in the landfill or in our recycling carts. There's a way to dispose of these items properly, and we're going to learn about how to do that to achieve zero waste today here at the summit. Remember, zero waste. Whoa, wait a minute. Hang on. Not yet, not yet.
All right, well, are you ready to do this?
Yeah, I guess I am. I've put it off long enough. Let's go zip. Oh, great. This thing shakes.
I'll take these clips from you. Get you hooked in.
Holy smokes.
Blue and yellow strap.
Yeah.
You're holding on
Hang
right
on to
there,
them, huh?
right in front of your
Okay.
face, yeah. You hold on just like that.
And what do I do,
Right in
jump?
front of you. Permission to zip?
What do you scream? All right. Geronimo! Yay! Yay! Whoa! country. I'll see you all in just a moment. Good morning, everybody. I'm glad to be zipping in on you. Wonderful to see this great group of people. So we started out with Geronimo. We're going to end with Geronimo. I survived. Looking at the trees from that vantage point is quite a bit different than what we normally do on the ground. So I would encourage everybody to go out to the 4-H club and try that zip line. It's a lot of fun. So, well, greetings and thank you, all of you, for being here today. What a great group of people who I know share the passion that we all have about the importance of sustainability in our community and in our country. And so I want to tell you that certainly this being our 9th annual Little Rock Sustainability Summit, I am so proud that back, I guess in 2008, we formed our Mayor Sustainability Commission, and I'm so excited to have Melinda Glasgow as our sustainability officer and the staff that she's put together, and actually how she has embraced and in many ways educated our city departments on the importance of sustainability and the meetings that they have every month to talk about that, the green team, if we will, and then of course the Sustainability Commission itself. I have the opportunity to appoint several people from the community, and I know many of you are out there right now, to the Mayor's Sustainability Commission, and I'm really proud of what you do. You have really helped to give us a direction and a focus as it relates to the importance of sustainability in our community, and to break it out into the various areas. When you talk about that word of sustainability, it means so many different things in so many different ways. And of course, that's what we're going to be doing today, is talking about some of those different ways. Certainly the importance of tree canopies and what it does to the quality of the air that we breathe. Certainly, we're going to be talking about the energy efficiency functions and things that we've implemented here in the city. You got a brief view of many of the things we've done over the course of time to make our city a leader here, not only in the state, but in the South, as it relates to advocating and educating people on the importance of sustainability. As a matter of fact, we're in as you know, we spent $70 million last year on this wonderful Robinson Center and Concert Hall. Proud that it was received a LEED Gold rating from the USGBC. Let's hear a hand for that. You know, when you take a 1939 building and you are able to achieve a gold status on it, it's pretty amazing. It's very amazing. And of course, as an old person that loves preservation, the most sustainable building that you can have is the one that you don't tear down. And so consequently, the 4 walls of this building remained, and virtually everything inside of it was changed. So, but obviously we were able to attain that, and I'm so very proud of our city and the engineers and the architects and all of the people who were able to be able to make sure that that happened. We take this as an opportunity, obviously, as was just mentioned, to recognize leaders in our community on the issue of sustainability with the Sustain the Rock Awards. Really a beautiful recognition to continue to raise the awareness with people about how they can help function the issue of sustainability. We talked about zero waste today. We're going to talk about the bike share program. We're going to talk about all of those kinds of things. And then we're going to hear from a friend of mine who came here all the way from the West Coast, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler. And I'm so happy to have Mayor Wheeler with us today, and he's going to tell us what Portland has done. Portland has been an absolute true first leader in this country on the issues of sustainability. We could not have a better person to help energize us and create a continued enthusiasm for what we do here in our city. So we'll be hearing from him shortly. So let me say thank you to our sponsors. There's, I think, 14 or 15 of you all on the back here that obviously practice sustainability themselves as corporate businesses. And that is so very important. It's not just about the energy efficiency and the fact that it makes some economic sense, but what it makes sense in terms of our planet. And so I want to thank these corporate sponsors who really do practice what they preach as it relates to those issues. So thank you very much. I'm glad that the zip line didn't break on me. I don't know whether Mayor Wither's going to try that when he gets back home or not, but it was a lot of fun. I don't know when the next time is I'm going to do it, but we'll see. So thank you for being here today, and now I'd like to turn this over to Melinda and to Ben Thielmeyer, who is the Communications Director for the Clinton Center. Melinda, Ben, they're going to talk to us about how far we've come and how far we still need to go in terms of our sustainability roadmap. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Stodola. Okay, so again, hi, good morning. So again, you might want to follow along with us. I'll give you just a brief history of what is on your ShamWow and how we got to this ShamWow. When we were asked if we had a sustainability plan, the answer in 2012 was, we don't. We need one, right? So we went out, we had public meetings all over the city in every ward, and collected valuable public input from many of you in this room and others. And we identified 5 tenant areas, which you will see the larger on the left-hand side designs, and then broke it down even more the following year to 16 specific goals that the city is committed to, time-wise, budget-wise, all of these things to get done by 2020. Now, how to read it is on the back at the very bottom there. So you'll notice that there's 15 through 20. It was a 5-year plan, if you will. And the years that are greened in are the years that indicate actual or projected year of work. This is fluid, obviously. If you were here last year and you should have your 2017 ShamWow, you will notice that it's changed just a little bit. So as we go and as we grow, it does change a little bit.
Yeah.
So.
Well, our first area is energy. It's anything that powers city facilities, buildings, our homes, and the way we move throughout the city of Little Rock. Our first tenant is PACE, or Property Assessed Clean Energy. City of Little Rock will facilitate creation of a PACE program for Little Rock, which will give businesses broader access to affordable financing for clean energy, energy efficiency, and water conservation projects. The PACE ordinance number 20986, was passed in 2015. PACE commissioners have been appointed at our meeting. Bylaws have been approved. Research conducted of PACE programs in other cities and states. And progress is being made towards securing a third-party administrator to implement the program.
The next goal is energy efficiency of facilities, which again is one of our 3 goals that will be highlighted today. We'll have a speaker up here on stage as a panelist. Jessie is head of that division for the City of Little Rock and was really, truly our first sustainability officer. He's been working on things a lot longer than I've been at the city, so we'll hear more about that later. But the City of Little Rock will promote energy efficiency in both existing and newly built facilities. City Building Services, which Jessie is head of, is dedicated to supporting energy efficient maintenance and construction of facilities. And it gives you a list on the website, lrrecycles.org, which has a lot of information on it of what we've done. But this past year in 2017, the city started tracking energy use of 26 of our buildings in Energy Star Portfolio Manager.
Fleet carbon reduction. In order to decrease carbon emissions, the Fleet Department will consider alternative fuel options while maintaining, replacing, or purchasing city vehicles. The city strives to purchase alternative fuel vehicles wherever possible. In total, currently, the city fleet has 60 flex fuel vehicles, 17 CNG vehicles, 22 hybrid vehicles, 28 electric golf carts, and 2 electric parking enforcement scooters, which I'm sure you have never gotten a ticket from.
So our next tenant area is the built environment. And the built environment, as you all know, is any man-made structure that allows us to travel, live, work, and play on a day-to-day basis. And the first one is promoting green roofs. And last year at our 2017 summit, you may remember, those of you who were here, that one of our panelists, that was one of our highlighted goals last year. And the good news this year is that we have funding in the budget, yay, which was that's huge, for a pilot demonstration project on the roof of the old jail, which is right behind City Hall, right out here. So this time next year, hopefully you can come back and you will see the demonstration project on the old jail. So that is the update for this year.
Complete streets adoption. The City of Little Rock, to improve walking, biking, and driving, the City of Little Rock will adopt a complete streets ordinance that will integrate complete streets concepts into transportation planning and road construction. As you well know, the complete streets ordinance number 21029, was passed in 2015, and we're happy to say that in early 2018, this year, the city was awarded a TAP grant of $50,000 to integrate complete streets features into our master street plan.
That's very exciting. We were very excited to get that TAP grant. So the next goal is new residential energy labeling. So for all new residential construction, the goal of the city is an energy label that includes the expected yearly energy cost of the home and allows consumers to comparison shop. The city, in collaboration with the Sustainability Commission, will develop a pilot program to collect data. So the current status is, and I see Jamie, who is the director of our planning department, the city, staff has drafted a proposal, amendment to the 2014 Arkansas Energy Code for residential. The amendments will require posting of a sticker with monthly energy costs, ducting testing, and certification, and that is going in front of the Board of Directors for approval. And thank you, Director Wright, for being here. That will be next Tuesday. That's on your agenda for next Tuesday, April the 3rd.
Our next area is economic development. Economic development is defined by actions and policies that promote the economic health of our city. Sustainable city branding. The City of Little Rock will maintain an updated inventory of sustainable initiatives within the city. The city will use the inventory to develop key messages for city leaders, the Chamber of Commerce, the Port Authority, and any others who work to recruit business to Little Rock.
Sustainable business incentives. The City of Little Rock will research and identify best practices and revenue-neutral incentives for businesses that embrace sustainable practices in the construction and maintenance of their facilities and in their business and operations.
Sustain the Rock Award recognition. The City of Little Rock will continue to develop the Sustain the Rock Awards into a well-known recognition system for individuals, local businesses, and city departments for their sustainable practices. You're going to hear more from one of our 2017 award winners, Bryan Nelms, on the panel today. And I want to also recognize our Little Rock Zoo green team for the cups that are on the tables in front of you. Please take those with you when you go. They were the first city department 2 years ago to win the Sustain the Rock Award for a city department.
Yes, so thank you, and I think our zoo director, Susan Altrui, is here. She's over here somewhere, so yay, thank you. We love our zoo. So the next tenant area is the natural environment. And the natural environment is maintaining and preserving our air, soil, water, and the natural resources that are found within our city. And the first goal under natural environment is improving residential recycling. This is a really hot topic that is talked about a lot around the city. And as the mayor referred to earlier, you know, I started December 1st of 2018, and I was the recycling coordinator. Is what I was hired to do initially. So this is my love area. The city will consider citizen input regarding cycling cart size, collection frequency, potential pay-as-you-throw program. And just so you know, what's going on currently is the city is going to gather public input here soon via a survey that we will be sending out, and we have your email addresses, so you'll be getting it from us, right? We want your input. We want to know what you want to see in the new contract, whomever that's with, right? What changes you would like to see. Just so you know, our contract is a 7-year contract with Waste Management, and our contract will end in April of 2019. So that is coming up. So now is the time for that input and discussion, and then we will be going forward with that. So you'll be hearing more from us on that front.
Organic Waste Pilot Program. The City of Little Rock will further its efforts towards a low-waste community by implementing a pilot program of organic waste recycling for the hospitals located along the I-630 corridor. UAMS, which is one of the initial partners for that program, continues their organic waste program today. The next goal is to ban yard waste plastic bags. City of Little Rock will adopt an ordinance banning plastic bags in yard waste. You'll notice on your ShamWow, that is a 2019 goal.
Not quite there yet, but we're getting there. Okay. So the next thing is the tree canopy growth, which obviously you saw some in the video with the mayor zipping around and out at the beautiful 4-H. And thank you so much, the folks at 4-H, for allowing us to come out there and play at your playground. It's really fun out there. So we will be learning more about that coming up, and we so appreciate our urban tree farm. I mean, did anybody here know that the city owned our own tree farm, and then it's 150 acres, and that we grow our own trees to plant, and I mean, so that's just really cool stuff that we felt was worthy of sharing. And so we'll learn a lot more about that from Lori Burrows, is going to represent Tree Streets, which is one of our partners, and more on that to come up.
Quality of life. Quality of life refers to the general well-being of the people who live and work in the City of Little Rock. The first goal there is the Fresh to You mobile market. Within the City of Little Rock, 1 in 5 residents suffers from food insecurity. The city, working with various partners, will help to promote and implement the Fresh to You mobile market pilot program that will bring fresh produce to citizens in need. The bus did begin service in August of 2016, and if you remember last year at the end of the summit, it was outside and available for people to walk through, make some purchases. I think we had some good produce out there.
We had a coupon
Had a little
last year.
coupon.
People could shop.
You can learn more information about the Fresh to You mobile market on Facebook at Fresh to You mobile market. That's the number 2. Just as a little update, they have a couple different sites in Little Rock. They are at the city. They do a city run at 12th and Cedar Streets at the UAMS Health and Wellness Clinic on Mondays. That's an area particularly hard hit with food insecurity, and as a food desert, their grocery store closed recently, earlier this year. So the mobile market is serving a very important need there. And they also make school visits to get students started early. They get a chance to go through the market, get some education about nutritious foods, what to pick out at the store. They get to pick out their favorite fruit or vegetable and get a picture in front of the bus at the end. Oh,
Pretty cool.
Next,
Yeah.
Arkansas River
Keep
Trail.
going.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. In order to improve the bike-friendly culture, the city will support and promote improvements and expansion of the Arkansas River Trail. Some very major actions are underway right now. Construction of the Arkansas River Trail Bridge over the Union Pacific tracks, just down the road a little bit, is happening right now. Last year, after our summit, the city received a $2 million federal lands access grant to stabilize a portion of the medical mile that was falling into the Arkansas River and to build a ramp from there to the Broadway Bridge. And together with additional projects, we're working to complete the Broadway Bridge section and to create a continuous loop all the way from the Clinton Center all the way down to Dillard's headquarters. Additionally, Riverfront Drive improvements are being made to make that to make improvements to that section of the trail as well. And I'm going to keep going. Fouche Creek Recreation. The Fouche Creek watershed, as many of you know, is an 1,800-acre bottomland region, one of the biggest in the country, which filters as much as 75% of the groundwater that comes out of the city of Little Rock. It serves home to over 50 species of fish, 300-year-old bald cypress trees, and a diverse population of migratory bird species. So it's an ideal recreation spot for hikers, paddlers, and birders in the city. In order to protect the Fouche Creek watershed, the City of Little Rock, in partnership with Friends of Fouche Creek, will provide recreation, education, and beautification opportunities at various sites in the watershed area. In 2017, after our last summit, the stretch of the Fouche Creek between Benny Craig Park and Interstate Park was recognized as the first urban waterway in Arkansas. And then just as a note, as I mentioned, Friends of Fouche Creek is a great organization that does a lot of work on Fouche Creek to help clean it up. They do, however, need extensive volunteer help. So if you want to get involved, find out more from Friends of Fouche Creek.
As a matter of fact, I see our friends from Audubon in this back table back here. Yeah, yay, thank you. There's Dr. Dan the Birdman. I see Uta and Gary, and thank you all for being here and for all that you do. And they're a great, great partner. And with any city, I'm sure, Mayor Wheeler, you know, I mean, you can't do it just by yourself. So we have many, many partners in all of these goals. And Audubon, Arkansas is certainly one of our strongest partners, especially on Friends of Fish Creek, so thank you. So last, but certainly not least, is our update on accessible alternative transportation. As Mayor Stoller promised, we have an update on bike share. You may remember that was one of our highlights last year. Our bike ped coordinator, John Landowski, he was a speaker last year and promised bike share to the city of Little Rock. And this year, we do have an update. A couple of other areas, transportation areas, before we get to that exciting one is, just want you all to know that we did, the city of Little Rock spent $190,000 on restriping and refreshing crosswalks in downtown, east of Broadway in 2016 and west of Broadway in 2017. So, and also in 2017, 4.7 miles of bike lanes were added on Pinnacle Valley, LaMarche, North Rodney Parham, Asher, and Van Buren. So we are making those connections all over the city. You've probably seen them out there, but just know that we are making those connections. So we thought it would be cool to have our own bike jersey, the city of Little Rock. And so several years ago, we made that happen. We also made some tech tees. So they don't have the zipper in the front and the pockets in the back that all you true cyclists in the audience have. This is just a cool tech tee that just supports biking and cycling in the city. It's kind of day in the front and night in the back. And there's someone at every table that is getting one of these today. So it's the old under your chair. You will get one of these. And whoever gets this, you've won a Bike LR Tech Tee. And we will, this table over here to my far right, at 11 o'clock when we break for the lunch buffet, Rachel, I saw Rachel earlier. Rachel's right here at L'Oreal. Rachel and Brittany will be helping you find your size. So who's the winner? Do we have some winner? Oh, look at Director Wright being a winner. Chicken dinner. All right. Yay. You go, girl. All right, who else? All right, see? We have winners. There's a winner at every table. Even the chairs on the back row, there's a winner back there. Awesome. Awesome. So just so you know, again, Rachel and Brittany will be at this table on my far right, and we have a box of women's and a box of men's, and we will do our best to get the size that is good for you, okay? So thank you so much, and thanks for, supporting biking and cycling in the city of Little Rock. So we have Bruce Moore, our city manager, is back here, who's going to moderate the panel. Bruce Moore.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for being here today. It's real exciting that we continue the progress that you heard from the mayor and Melinda and Ben earlier. So it's my pleasure to moderate a panel today. We have three panelists. I'll introduce them briefly. Lori Burrows is Vice President and General Counsel for Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation and Arkansas Electric Cooperatives. Lori joined AECC as a senior staff attorney in 2012. She has more than 13 years of public utility legal and regulatory experience at the state, regional, and federal levels. Please welcome Lori. One of our own, Jessie Trigleth, has been a City of Little Rock employee for 30 years, and the last 24 years as manager of building services. In this position, Jessie plans and directs the Building Services Division in the remodeling, repair, new construction, and maintenance of all city-owned buildings. Please welcome Jessie. And Jessie, it's nice to see you dressed up.
I can once in a while.
And Bryan Nelms is currently the Assistant General Manager of the Holiday Inn at Little Rock Airport Conference Center, where he assists with daily operations ranging from guest services to revenue management. In addition to daily operations, Bryan also chairs several committees, including his team's Green Energy Committee. Please welcome Bryan. So at this time, all the panelists will make some opening comments, and then we'll open it up to Q&A. And our first panelist is Lori.
Good morning. I'm thrilled to be here. Can everyone hear me? So, have any of you ever volunteered with Tree Streets? 1, 2, thank y'all for volunteering. Hey, Jen, I didn't see you over there. So, I encourage you, we do in the city of Little Rock, and I have some slides that John Baker, who's big city lawyer in today, so that's why I'm here, sent. Are those on the screen? They are. And how do I advance them? Do I just tell you? Just some magic? Okay, great. So this is our logo. Tree Streets has a 501c3, entirely private donation funded. We're not affiliated with the city in any way. We certainly like to work with the city, but it's not city funded in any way. It was started in 1997, so we've been around a little while. I started volunteering just a few years after it was formed, and it was formed by John Baker, who was supposed to be here and unfortunately can't be today, so I'm here. He and 2 other people formed the organization because they felt it was important, particularly in downtown Little Rock, that our city have more trees, more things that help with stormwater recovery, more things that help beautify the area, more things that make it more livable and walkable. And they felt like the downtown area, specifically the Quapaw Quarter, needed that. Many of you, the downtown we know today is not the downtown it was in the late 90s. And so a lot of that is because of the investment of organizations like Tree Streets to make it more livable. I live in the Quapaw Quarter, and coincidentally, right in front of my house are 3 trees that were planted by Tree Streets about 15 years ago that we now enjoy. We didn't live there then. So it's a 501c3, so if you want to make a donation, I'll be happy to take that. And as I said, we rely strictly on private donations. We do an annual fund drive in the fall. Some of you might get the letters where we just say, can you give us some money? And we have planted, since 1997, almost 1,600 trees in the downtown area. And if the slide can advance, the first slide will show you. As you can see, can everyone see that? Great. The red dotted line shows where we plant. We only plant in this area, and we certainly have had lots of other organizations ask us to partner with them and plant in other areas, but the organization was formed with a specific focus on this section of downtown, and so it's bordered by 630 and Roosevelt, and then you can see the outer borders there. What's on the bottom right part of the screen, it says the path of the 1999 tornado. You can see that gray shaded area. That's actually my house where I live now is in that path. And so that is where a lot of trees were planted, and it cleaned out, unfortunately, a lot of downtown, but it also provided an opportunity for some redevelopment in the area. And so that's part of the South on Main area now that's so well developed. And then you can see all the places where we've planted, all the trees. The streets that are green, those are trees that have planted. That's the almost 1,600 trees. And you can see what we do is focus on specific areas at a specific time. And so those time frames are on there. And I'd be happy to, this information's on our website, treestreets.org. I'd be also happy to share any of that with you. But the whole idea was to make the city greener, to make it more walkable, more livable, help with energy efficiency, help with storm water draining and the like. And so we do pruning and planting, and we do it in the fall and the spring. We've just finished our spring season, but we do have an annual meeting May 5th. If any of you want more information about that, I'd be happy to share that with you. Now I'm just going to show you some pictures on the next several slides of what it looked like before we planted and what it looks like more recently. So this 1,600 block of Cumberland, you can see what it was in 2000 when we planted. You can see what it is even 3 years ago now, 4 years ago in 2014. The next slide is the 1,500 block of Cumberland. You can see where it started, and you see there's some of that development we were talking about. Now in the picture you see there's some single-family homes, single-family attached homes in that area, and you can see how well those trees are doing there. The 2,000 block of Spring, again, you can see when they were planted. You can see what they look like more recently, and they're only bigger and prettier now. The next one is Daisy Bates, which used to be 14th Street. That's 2012. You can see what those look like now, how well they're doing. I actually helped plant some of those a long, long time ago when I first started volunteering. The next one I want to show, and then I'll be happy to to stop talking with my introduction, but is the Swaggerty Creek watershed. And you can see that blue line, and they're pretty hard to see, but there are 2 red lines of demarcation. That's where it goes underground. The next screenshot you'll see shows where that happens. But one of the things that John asked me to highlight and make sure that you all were aware of, and I suspect this audience knows this, but that trees aren't just about beautification. They aren't just about making things greener or more walkable or livable. They can also help with stormwater recovery. And when there's too much, particularly when we have a deluge of rain, they can help soak up a lot of that. So there are benefits, not just the aesthetic benefits, but there are actual financial benefits associated with planting trees. And so we planted in that area about 280 trees, and those help with the underground outtakes, and that was in conjunction with the Audubon Society. So those are all the pictures. I'd be more than happy to answer any questions, but as I said, I'm passionate about Tree Streets. One of the things I love about it is it's Saturday mornings. We do it about 8 times a year. It takes 2 hours. We go out, we pick an area. We're either pruning or planting. Anybody can do it. I kill rosemary at my own house. I have no green thumb at all, but I can help with Tree Streets, and y'all can too. So please let me know if you're interested in doing more. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Like Bruce mentioned, I've been with the city for 30 years. I've managed building services, 24 of those, this month, in fact. When I started in '94, there was not a group like this, and I appreciate this. There wasn't the support here. There is lots now. When I started in '94, I went to looking around, trying to get a handle on what we had in place, what could be done. Somewhere in that time period, we became partners with Rebuild America, which was a division of the U.S. Department of Energy. They brought technical expertise to the table. They brought peers together, had newsletters, we had national forums. Pretty soon, I found out from my peers that everybody was pretty much in the same boat. We had lots of work to do, we had tight budgets, staff was short, and I got to noticing around my office, and thanks. I contacted Entergy, our local electrical provider. They installed some CTs and a device on the meter at City Hall Annex where my office was, that on my computer I could see almost real time what the electrical usage was in the building. Pretty eye-opening in the morning when folks started coming to work, turning on lights, firing up computers. It was pretty big spikes. So I started looking at occupancy sensors. How could I cycle lights on and off around? Some people are diligent in turning lights off, some forget. It just happens. I started testing them in my office, which is a good thing because there were some lousy products out then. And if I got something good, I would start expanding to the offices next to me, use them as guinea pigs, if you will. I started looking at I found a data logger that you could put in and actually check the time that lights were on, when people were in there, when they were not. You know, I've got a slide that's going to come up. It'll be after this one, but it actually shows the second floor men's restroom at City Hall. If you change to the next slide, that, back up one, that showed that over a 2-day period, I put it in on a Monday morning, took it out on a Wednesday morning, that the lights were on 62% of the time and nobody was in there. May have been a coincidence. That logger said, okay, if you put a knock sensor in there, you can save over $230 a year on that by just doing that alone. Pretty eye-opening. I also started looking at things, and as part of Rebuild America and the Arkansas Energy Office, I made contact with a professor at Euler, our local university. They had some college students that in the summer they would do a light survey of some of our buildings as part of the Green Lights program. They wound up surveying 84 of our buildings and did light counts, and went through a program that they had would show, okay, if you change out these from T12s to TH, you can expect to save this much money annually, and gave us an approximate cost. I started at that time changing our T12 fixtures in City Hall to TH with electronic ballasts. We cut our energy usage, and I'll have another slide coming up that will show the energy usage in City Hall from that time period. Let's go one more, the next one, in fact, there. I started collecting and actually saving the energy records to know where we were, to know where we had gone. It's pretty important. You can see from the 99 to 2000, all I did there was that first drop, the big drop, that's TA lights, nothing more. Huge. Only in the 2010, we made the transition at City Hall to LED lights as part of a grant. That's another big drop. I found out real fast that if it can do something within the building, that the occupants don't have to change how they do business, how they work, that's the best way to do it. It's all behind the scenes. We also, in '04, we were very blessed to have a bond issue that we were able to renovate a lot of our fire stations. And that gave more opportunities. We looked at, and we do have in place some geothermal HVAC units. Some of those make hot water for the buildings. We also have one station, our fire station 17, has a hydronically heated floor in the engine room. Vertically opening doors, they open and close real fast, but that mass of concrete retains the heat, very energy efficient, and worked awesome. We started looking at green roofs. Let's say green, reflective, cool roofs, I should say. There was energy studies, here again, backing up on the Rebuild America partnership that we had. The expertise was awesome. The Florida Energy Office had done a survey of that, and they, along with the EPA, confirmed that the HVAC load in the summer would be cut 10 to 15% with just a white membrane roof. Pretty impressive. But along the 99, some of the Rebuild America, it didn't bring money to the table, but brought a lot of good practices. We made a practice of my electricians would not reinstall or fix any T12 fixtures. We replaced them with the TH back then. It is so exciting right now to move into the LED end. And we did these in 2010, and we replaced over 1,100 fixtures that year of LED. Currently, we've got over 3,300 that have replaced in city buildings, and going from anywhere from the efficient TH, we're around 100 watts per fixture. These lights I'm installing LED are 35 watts. If you can back up a couple slides to the picture of those lights, that's our city impound yard there. The left side, those are 1,000 watt lights. The ones on the right are LED. They're 641 watts each. So those three use less electricity than two of the lights that were there. And there is a slide there that shows how much their energy usage has dropped. There you can see the dots of where I installed them, and nothing else has changed. They're still lit the same number of hours. Those lights, along with all the other LED lights I'm installing now, have got a 10-year warranty. Awesome. If I don't have to send staff back, that's a huge, huge savings, because staff is always short time. And that's pretty much what we're doing. We've done tankless water heaters. We've done, it's just lots of stuff we've done. Very, very exciting, and I'm excited to see this crowd. When I started, there wasn't people here. Thank y'all.
Could you go back to the slide that the bathroom project, I think is like the second slide.
Yep.
So I tell people all the time I learn something new every day at the city, and so this is the bathroom that I use. It's on the floor. And so You know, at one point, I felt like I needed new glasses because something was wrong with the lighting and all. Now I just realized Jessie was messing with the lights. Bryan?
Oh, okay. Good morning, everyone. I guess you can say that my projects at the Holiday Inn are one that anybody can do. We make believers out of anybody. We have a nice management company who bought the hotel about 4 years ago, had a real passion about green activities and green efforts. So he was like, I need for you to start a committee. So with that being said, you know, I'm thinking I got several team members come in and out. How do I keep the consistency? How do I do the follow-up? So my head kind of swam there for a minute. With that being said, as we started to do projects here at the Holiday Inn, we started to see results. And you know, results brings anybody happiness. And that kind of motivated the team. I had people doing it at home, bringing back ideas, and then organizations like this one who comes out to the property and notice what we do on a daily basis and invite us to be a part of it. And it just grows from there. So with everything being said and done, Holiday Inn, we try to do a green effort, and not only our management company as an owner, but IHG as a franchising company of Holiday Inn. We do continuously websites where we're monitoring our green activity as well as reducing our carbon imprint. And so far, so good. If you notice, a lot of people look for organizations, businesses, and marketing that participate with green activities. And that has been a real beneficial factor for the Holiday Inn. And we just look to continue to do projects. And like I said, it's not hard to do. No matter what type of setting you're sitting in, team members, or just yourself, it's easy to start, it's easy to maintain. We often make excuses to not to do. I have to incentive my employees quite often, which is okay. But once they find something they like, they're very passionate about it, and our efforts continue to grow, and that's what we're going to do. Our management company is constantly developing new projects that with the green efforts in mind. So we just hope to continue not only here in Little Rock, but hopefully to grow here in Arkansas. Okay. Thank you.